Imagine this. You are sacked by Real Madrid after a disastrous few months.
Real Madrid have sacked Xabi Alonso with the club second in La Liga, 4 points behind the leaders and champions Barcelona, their great rivals.
Your reputation is an absolute mud. The football world questions everything you have achieved.
When you talk about, obviously, Xabi Alonso is coaching a bit too much for some people and not managing enough.
And then Manchester City comes calling to replace the one and only Pep Guardiola.
Xabi Alonso is in the mix for Manchester City.
Arguably the greatest manager of all time. Sounds like a fiction, right? But this is exactly the situation Xabi Alonso finds himself in right now.
Xabi wants to return as soon as possible. Xabi doesn't want to waste any time.
And by the end of this video, you will understand why this could be the most important managerial move of the decade. So, let's get into it. Welcome to the Pitch Report, where we dive into football's biggest stories and upcoming projects involve football. For those who don't know, Xabi Alonso isn't just any manager. This is a man who, as a player, has won everything. The Champions League with Liverpool, La Liga with Real Madrid, the Bundesliga with Bayern Munich, a World Cup, and 2 Euros with Spain. A true footballing legend. But here is where it gets interesting. Just a few weeks ago, Alonso was sacked by Real Madrid.
Real Madrid have sacked Xabi Alonso with the club second in La Liga, 4 points behind the leaders and champions Barcelona, their great rivals.
Yes, that Real Madrid, the club he once graced as a player.
It is the year of La Decima.
His tenure, a nightmare. Poor results, tactical confusion, a dressing room that looked absolutely lost. The dream return turns into a disaster that nobody saw coming. And now, the reports from The Telegraph reveals that Manchester City have him on 3-man shortlist to replace Pep Guardiola. Not just on the list, he is being the standout one. City are serious about this. But here's a question that's dividing entire football world. Can a manager who just failed spectacularly at Real Madrid really steps into the shoes of Pep Guardiola and lead one of the most dominant team in world football? The answer isn't as simple as you think. To understand why City wants Alonso despite the Real Madrid disaster, we need to rewind back to 2022. Because what he did at Bayer Leverkusen wasn't just good, it was historic. When Alonso took over Leverkusen, they were a solid team, but nowhere near elite. Within 2 years, he transformed them into an unstoppable force. The 2023-2024 season, they went the entire Bundesliga campaign unbeaten. Let me repeat that. Unbeaten. They didn't just win the league, they dominated. And they won German Cup too, completing a domestic double that absolutely nobody predicted.
He's achieved great things as a player and as a coach.
This was a complete vindication of Xabi Alonso's tactics, team selection, and his coaching in general.
He's a conductor, strategist, and visionary. He's Xabi Alonso, one of the Bundesliga's greatest.
But it wasn't just about results, it was how he did it. Alonso implemented a tactical system that had Europe's biggest clubs scrambling to take notes.
Kann ich auch ganz klar sagen, dass ich das.
Moving into space, Stanisic! To wrap up a momentous win!
It's Florian Wirtz!
Xabi Alonso has led Leverkusen to their first ever Bundesliga title.
Aggressive pressing, positional fluidity, inverted fullbacks, quick transitions. Sounds familiar? It should be, because it's straight out of Guardiola's playbook, but with Alonso's own twist. His Leverkusen played with intelligence, intensity, and most importantly, identity. They suffocated opponents with their press and carved them apart with their movement. Florent Reds became one of Europe's hottest prospects under him. One of the best talents. Jeremy Frimpong turned him into a goal-scoring wing-back. The whole team evaluated. Liverpool wanted him. Bayern Munich wanted him. But he chose Real Madrid, the club of his heart. The club where he won La Decima. It seems like destiny. And then it all fell apart. So, what went wrong? When Alonso took the Real Madrid job, expectations were sky high, which is quite obvious. This was supposed to be the next great managerial era at the Bernabeu. But from day one, things didn't click. Tactically, his system didn't translate. With the high press that worked wonders at Leverkusen, it left Real Madrid exposed against elite attackers. The positional play that created overload in Bundesliga, it looked rigid and predictable in La Liga. Results spiraled, dropped point against smaller teams, embarrassing defeats in big games. The dressing room filled with superstars and egos looked absolutely disconnected.
Pero aquí está justificado Xavi porque Vinicius está encimado en la línea de cal y le dice, pues juega hacia otro, juega hacia el otro lado.
And of course, not to forget, one of the biggest superstars in the world football, Vinicius Jr., seems frustrated. Bellingham forms dipped. The defensive structure absolutely collapsed. And let's be honest, Real Madrid is a different beast. At Leverkusen, Alonso had time, patience, and a group of, most importantly, hungry players willing to buy into his system. At Madrid, you get 3 months to win everything, or you're out. The pressure is suffocating. The demands are relentless. Some will say he wasn't ready for the club of that magnitude. Others will argue he was set up to fail, that the squad didn't fit his philosophy, that he needed his own player, that Madrid's structure doesn't allow for long-term projects anymore. Both can be true, but here's what matters. Despite the disaster, Manchester City still believes in him. In fact, they might believe him in more because of it. Why? Because failure teaches you things success can never. Let's talk about what's happening at Manchester City, because context is everything. Pep Guardiola has a contract until 2027, but sources within the club believes this could be his final season.
10 years and out for Pep at the end of this season.
I wouldn't be surprised at all if he were to leave at the end of the season.
The intensity is wearing on him. The Premier League charges loom. The hunger in the squad, according to reports, isn't what it used to be. City recently dropped points against Spurs and sits 6 points behind Arsenal. The empire isn't crumbling, but cracks are showing. City know they need succession planning. And here's the thing, they don't just want any manager. They want someone who can continue the Guardiola's philosophy while bringing fresh ideas. Someone who understands possession-based football, tactical flexibility, and developing players. This is exactly where Xabi Alonso fits.
I was incredibly fortunate to have him 1 year and a half, 2 years, 2 seasons. He's so intelligent player.
Think about what City saw at Leverkusen. A manager who plays progressive attacking football, a tactician who adapts mid-game, a leader who improved every player he worked with, a student of the game who learned from Guardiola, Ancelotti, and Mourinho during his playing days. Now compare him to the other names on Manchester City's shortlist: Enzo, Maresca, and Cesc Fabregas. Maresca, who just recently got sacked by Chelsea, he was doing some sort of solid work at a mid-table club. Fabregas still cutting his teeth in management. Well, to be honest, both of them are quite promising and talented, but neither has done what Alonso did at Leverkusen. Alonso is the most accomplished, the most ready, and crucially, the most available manager.
Xabi wants to return as soon as possible. Xabi doesn't want to waste any time.
But here is what makes this truly interesting. Manchester City's project is opposite of Real Madrid's. At Madrid, you're expected to win immediately, with the squad of Galacticos and massive egos.
But yeah, I think everybody knows as Real Madrid it's about managing players sometimes rather than just tactics. So
at City, you have infrastructure, continuity, and club that builds for long-term dominance. If Alonso couldn't handle the chaos of Real Madrid, maybe, just maybe, the structure at City is exactly what he needs. And let's not forget, Guardiola himself struggled in his first managerial job at Barcelona before becoming the greatest.
The greatest innovative managers in history. There's a bravery to them. There's a willingness to go against the grain.
He has changed football forever.
To just believe in their own ideology.
Sometimes the right environment unlocks greatness. City believes Alonso's ceiling is sky high. Now hold up for a second, because if this happens, Alonso faces massive challenges. First, can he handle the Premier League? It's the most intense league in the world. Every team can hurt you. There is no winter breaks. The schedule is an absolutely ruthless and relentless. And the tactical variety, from Arteta's Arsenal to whatever chaos the bottom half throws at you, is absolutely unmatched. Second, the Man City squad has mentality issues right now. Reports suggest some players have lost hunger compared to previous season. Can Alonso reignite that fire? Or will he struggle to command respect after a failed stint at Madrid? And third, and this is the big one, he would be following Pep Guardiola. Think about the pressure. Pep has won everything at City. Multiple Premier Leagues. The treble redefined English football to the core.
Pep Guardiola is a genius.
Whoever comes next will be compared to him every single day. It's like trying to follow Sir Alex Ferguson. We saw how that went. Moyes, Van Gaal, Mourinho. The weight of legacy can crush even great managers. So the question becomes, is Xabi Alonso ready for that? Or is this too much, too soon after traumatic experience in Madrid? Honestly, I think City might be the perfect place for him to rebuild. But again, it's a gamble, a massive one. Alright, here's my take. I think Xabi Alonso will become Manchester City's next manager, and I think he will be successful. Here's why. The Real Madrid job came at the wrong time with the wrong structure, but Alonso's tactical brain is elite. What he did at Leverkusen proves he can build a dominant team when given the right environment, and City offers that environment. Time, resources, infrastructure, and the squad that, despite recent struggles, is still a world class. Will he be as good as Pep? Probably not. Nobody will, let's just be honest. But he doesn't need to be. He just needs to be his own version of great. And here's my bold prediction. If Alonso goes to City and succeeds, we will look back at Real Madrid disaster as the best thing that ever happened to him. It humbled him, taught him hard lessons, and prepared him for this exact moment. From disaster to savior, from failure to redemption. That's the story Manchester City are betting on. But what do you think? Is Xabi Alonso the right man for Manchester City? Or is this a massive mistake after what happened at Real Madrid? Drop your thoughts in the comment below. I want to hear what you think. And if you have enjoyed this deep dive, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit that bell button so you don't miss out the more tactical breakdowns and transfer rumor that actually matters. I will see you in the next one.